Hey y'all, looking at the discussion board of fundamentalist modern controversy, it was hard for me to decide what to do. There were so many important Christian matters that came out during that time that have implications on our current world. However, I decided to do this discussion board on J. Gresham Machen and his wisdom he showed in handling different matters that came his way. The most important thing I want to get across is how much Pearl S. Buck respected Machen, even though he was the main individual who forced her out of the Presbyterian Foreign Missions cadre in 1933. Pearl S. Buck admired him for steadfastness in his faith. In Pearl S. Buck and the Waning of Missionary Impulse by Grant Wacker, he notes Miss Buck's response to Machen's death in 1937. He outweighed 100 modern princes of the church who occupy easy places and play their church politics and trim their sails to every wind. Machen never gave in 1 inch to anyone. He never bowed his head. It was not in him to trim or compromise to accept any peace that was less than his triumph. Powerful eulogy for Miss Buck, but the man who was in charge of dismissing her from the foreign missions. Pearl S. Buck was a missionary in China, a novelist for numerous books, and the first American woman to win the Nobel Prize for Literature. However, the reason why she's important to the fundamentalism versus modernism is because of her stance she took on liberal views of Christianity, while being a member of the Presbyterian Foreign Mission cadre. Her beliefs are best described by J. Gresham Machen, thoughts that were recorded in the New York Times newspaper on April 12, 1933. Dr. Machen declared that Miss Buck had indicated she did not consider a belief in the deity of Christ essential, that she did not believe in the miracles described in the New Testament, that she did not believe in an original sin. These beliefs of Miss Buck caused numerous problems for the Presbyterian Church, the biggest being should the Presbyterian Church fund or support Miss Buck with keeping to these modern standpoints on her Christian faith. Along with her beliefs, there was also a book that was published in 1932, which was called Rethinking Missions, written by William Ernest Hocking. Machen, seeing the effect that this book and Miss Buck could have on the fundamentals of Christian missions, he decided to write a response, which was called Modernism and the Board of Foreign Missions of the Presbyterian Church in the USA, which was his appeal to purify the foreign missions with modern views on Christianity. Machen was able to help remove Miss Buck from the Presbyterian Foreign Missions. However, he was not able to change the Foreign Missions' belief on the doctrine's soundness. With the Presbyterian General Assembly not adopting his belief in fundamental doctrine, it led him to organize his own foreign missions, which he named Independent Board of Foreign Missions. This organization and other standpoints would eventually lead to his separation from the Presbyterian Church. In response to his separation, he would start the Orthodox Presbyterian Church, the OPC, in the Westminster Theological Seminary. In conclusion, J. Gresham Machen was committed to the fundamentals of Christian doctrine. Whether it was Pearl S. Buck or the Presbyterian General Assembly that he didn't see eye to eye with, he always acted in a respectful manner, as seen from the earlier eulogy given from Pearl S. Buck. Machen was a man that had an abundance of wisdom in matters of the faith. Looking at Proverbs 9:10, you can understand where Machen became wise. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Thanks for your time.